Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we actually will be breaking down some very recent trade rumors, significant ones backed by some very reputable sources over the past 24 hours regarding the Vegas Golden Knights, as they could find themselves with not just one, but multiple players, significant players in their lineup that could find themselves on the trading block as basically cap casualties and trying to free up some cap space and possibly go after some names currently in free agency still, which is just absurd to think about, but that's the reality as of now. So make sure you stay until the end of the video, find out all the deets and all my thoughts and exactly who these players are, why they would be on the trading block, does it make sense for Vegas at all, why exactly they would be doing this, and everything in between. And also make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you end up enjoying this kind of hockey content. Without further ado guys, let's get right into this video. So as we know, there is basically an unofficial start date for the NHL, as they are eyeing to return for January 13th for the 2020-2021 season, and also have involved a 56 game season. A lot of other things still need to get figured out, but it's great knowing that, at least for us hockey fans. But since then, it made perfect sense for things to start trickling down, with the bigger name free agents like Mike Hoffman and other free agents start to get back in the negotiation process of knowing that yes, we're gonna have a season next year more than likely, so now we can start figuring out better as to where we're going to land. Same thing with a lot of these trade negotiations, because a lot of teams currently don't have cap space or are trying to free up cap space, and there's been little to no discussion on any of these rumors over the past month and a half, really, because of the uncertainty as to if the next season is even going to happen. But now that that is cleared up, we have the Vegas Golden Knights introduced on Insider Trading of TSN last night, and breaking down how Max Pacioretty, yes, the former 30-goal scorer just from this past season, has been a consistent goal scorer in the NHL throughout his entire career, still has multiple years left on his contract, could find himself on the trade block currently, along with some other significant players in this lab, including forward Jonathan Marchessault, defenseman Alec Martinez that they just acquired back at the trade deadline from the LA Kings, and yes, again, and I know it's frustrating, but Marc-Andre Fleury Flower. Now, I know you're probably wondering, Tyler, how is this even possible? How can this even happen with Max Pacioretty, especially, who just came off of a great season, still in the prime of his career? How could they make this happen? Why would they even make this happen? Well, it is simple as this. Vegas, we've all known this, they are cap strapped. They don't have any money. And especially after signing Alex Pietrangelo, the biggest fish in the free agency for this past 2020 free agency for the NHL, they have nothing to work with, and they still need to make some moves, and they want to make some moves, and I think they also want to do it. From the reports that I have seen, have indicated that they want to do it as well, from what TSN has stated, and possibly going for guys in free agency. We're talking about maybe going for a Mike Hoffman, because they're in this win now stage. They know this. So would they feel more comfortable going for a guy Mike Hoffman who still has some age on his side? I believe he's at least a year younger than Max Pacioretty. Possibly. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but they could probably get him on a shorter term deal for cheaper for that matter, especially if it's a 1-year deal in a win now stage. That's possible, because you're basically getting the same type of player, a consistent 30-goal scorer. So I'm not sure, but let's just break down all these players real quick so we have an understanding that exactly how they currently are, what do their contracts look like, and how exactly have they fared this past season. But start off with Pacioretty, the 32-year-old winner, has 3 years left on his contract with a $7 million AAV. So yeah, that's a lot, and I understand why they're trying to free up cap space. But again, they just acquired Pacioretty just a couple years ago, not even. So it feels like it would kind of be absurd to get rid of him already when he's such a crucial part of that offense. But Pacioretty, in 71 games played, had 32 goals, 34 assists for 66 points. Could this be in part because of his playoff performance? Possibly, I'm not sure, but it is definitely because of the contract more than anything else. Then when you get on to Jonathan Marchessault, for example, Marchessault, I love him. I think he's been fantastic. Had a slight down year versus previous years with Vegas since being acquired by them in the 2017 expansion draft, but still has been solid no less. And the 29-year-old winner can play both the left and the right wing. Has 4 years left on his contract at an AAV of $5 million, so decent cap hit, but still worth it. I think that's still a solid contract for what he brings as a consistent 50-point getter. But this past year, he has, in 66 games played, has 22 goals, 25 assists for 47 points. So slightly down, especially after having 50 points the year prior, and 2 years before that having a career high of 70 plus points. And both these guys, in Pacioretty and Marchessault, have a modified no trade clause, so it's not like it'll necessarily be easy to trade these players either. Keep that in mind, because they will have a list as to the teams that they will like to go to, if any. But then you also have a guy like Alec Martinez, who they just acquired. The 33-year-old defenseman has 1 year left on his contract at a $4 million AAV, and in 51 games played this past year, had 6 16 points, 3 goals, 13 assists, splitting time between the Canes and the Vegas Golden Knights. And then Marc-Andre Fleury. This is ridiculous because I touched on this in the past on the channel regarding Fleury, because there were a lot of rumors that he would probably get dealt between, you know, everything with his agent and Alan Walsh and all that crazy nonsense when that was happening, and really Robin Lehner being locked in for a contract in June, might I add. But it wasn't made official until quite after the fact, because they were trying to keep it hush-hush, but it didn't work, because the same guy that broke that, David Pagnotta, is the same guy that I have for you today regarding these rumors outside of Pacioretty. TSN is the one who broke basically about a guy like Pacioretty, but expanding on that with the other 3 players I have for you today, that is from David, so you can check him out on Twitter. I'll have him in the description down below. He's been pretty accurate with a lot of his information this past year for the NHL, but no less, when you look at a guy like Fleury as well, in 49 games played, the 36-year-old, he has 2 years left on his contract, so keep that in mind with a heavy cap hit. But in 49 games played, he has 27 wins, 16 losses, 5 overtime losses, a goals allowed average of 2.77, and a save percentage of 905. Fleury makes the most sense to go out of all these guys, honestly, with a cap hit of 7 mil AAV still, so it seemed inevitable that he would be dealt once Robin Lehner was signed to his 5-year, $5+ million extension when that happened. But reality is because of Lehner having his injury, requiring surgery, I believe, because it feels like it was so long ago, even though it was just a couple months ago now, they were keeping Marc-Andre Fleury for now. But could they be expanding on that rate and willing to go out there and either buy him out or trade him in order to bring in, say, a very cheap and still decent goaltender as their backup? That is a possibility. I'm not sure exactly what route they're going down regarding Fleury, but he is back on the trading block, so you do need to keep that in mind. But out of all these players, from my first impressions, if you will, how I feel about this personally, I think it makes sense and it doesn't make sense. Vegas is in this win now stage, so they're trying to mix up some things a little bit while freeing up some cap. They want to ball on a budget, but still get some key players. So they want to execute, and say they want to go for whether it's a Mike Hoffman or a Mikael Granlund or an Anthony Duclair, to name a few. They can get either of those 3 guys on cheaper deals probably than a Pacioretty, for instance, and especially for a guy like Marchessault. Hoffman, who knows what he'll be looking for still. It could still be a 1-year deal, which very well could be very enticing for a team like Vegas that would get a guy like Hoffman that maybe they would rely on a little bit more when it comes to the goal scoring over someone like Pacioretty. I'm not sure. I think they really go in hand when it comes to similar playing styles. I'm not sure. Maybe Hoffman would have better chances in the playoffs with his performance over a guy like Pacioretty. Who knows? But I will tell you this is very interesting. I expect a lot of things to heat up for the remainder of this NHL offseason, and a lot more, not just with Vegas, but with the Tampa Bay Lightning that needs to free up cap space still. What are they going to do with Anthony Cirelli and Tyler Johnson, Alex Koren? Who are they going to move, if anyone? And same thing with a lot of these other teams currently in the NHL. And Patrick Laine rumors, are those going to heat up again? A lot of these other rumors, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with them and where these players are going to sign. And Hoffman, Granlund, Duclair, Chara, is he going to come back? Who knows? But make sure to come to this channel, because I assure you I will be covering all of it, or at least most of it. But that will do it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the Vegas Golden Knights possibly trading away their key goal scorer, their consistent 30+ goal scorer, and a guy like Max Pacioretty? And it's funny because I have a jersey on the way, his Habs jersey, for the 100th anniversary, so it should be here literally like in a day or two. Of course, it doesn't come when I'm making this video, but no less, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video with your friends regarding everything there is to know about the NHL. And also make sure to check out my baseball channel in the description down below if you are in fact a baseball fan and a Mets fan in particular. So thank you all so much, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below regarding all these players. Who is going to get dealt for what reason? I'm not sure, but I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks again, and I'll be back real soon.